what is Biosky technology? Each Biosky photonic crystal is the complex of multi-layered bulk structure made from special metal alloys and dielectric materials in their super high frequency converter, which transforms radiation into electromagnetic biological field. It is beneficially affects all the water containing structure, including our body, with circular polarization of right-hand rotation. The characteristic of the photonic crystals materials are calculated and formed based on the interactions of the electromagnetic field with biological objects, water structure, and chirality or mirror asymmetry. All Biosky charges from natural background frequencies. Everything has a frequency which is higher than 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. If it's warm or little warm, it's already have electromagnetic frequency. So what Biosky does is it's charging from all of the frequencies around. The frequency goes through this Biosky. And also it charged from the active radiations from TV and computer. In other words, all the frequency around us, good or bad, going through this card and somehow transform it to a good frequency, good energy to us. And I will explain it how it works shortly. We do have photonic crystals in nature. And this is the 4 examples on the slide. You see the first one is the balloon. So it could be an oil spill from the gasoline. And you see them usually very, very colorful. Why do you think they are very colorful? We see them colorful because of the things called destructive interference. And destructive interference results from the wave interactions when the waves of object is interfere somehow with the frequency around them. And when the waves are matching, then you see these colors. There are many examples in the photonic crystals in nature in the fauna, flora, and also mineral world. And as you see, chameleon as an example of the animal world. And what he has when he doesn't move, his skin looks like a dense network from little pieces called nanocrystals. When he moves, those nanocrystals start to move and they start to allow some frequencies inside. It's not dense anymore. And if the waves of those frequencies matches to the waves of the chameleon, they start to change the colors. And that's why we see chameleon is changing colors. Also, some butterflies have the nanocrystals on their wings. And when the lighting hit them, they may change the colors, like this pretty butterfly. And in the mineral kingdom, one of the bright representative is the opal. See, they also have a different reflection. And of course, human took this from nature, studied, and we have now a bunch of different artificial photonic crystals. An example of them is the optics, cameras, photo cameras, mirrors, some metamaterials, and also one of the examples is our Biosky photonic crystals. It's artificial photonic crystals, which is, the idea got from the nature. And let's look inside and understand how inside, what is the skeleton of the photonic crystal. Each electromagnetic frequency field has their own frequency, and it has a characteristic of intensity, phases, and also polarization. There are 3 types of dimensional in the crystals. We have 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional, and 3-dimensional crystal. So 1-dimensional crystal, it looks like just a bunch of materials stuck together one after one, layer. What is 2-dimensional, when you swirl some holes in them, 90 degrees, right? Then you have this 2D crystals inside. But we also have the 3D dimensional. It's when the holes drill in the crystals on the different angles. And our Biosky has a 3-dimensional structure. So if you take the Biosky, you see that it is a metal There is a material stuck together like a sandwich, and there was also drilled at a certain angle, and that's what makes them 3D. It's completely different from similar card from the other companies. Why? Because we do have them of different colors. So they are not all the same. They're all different because they drill on them differently, those holes, and the energy goes the way that it will be benefit also your energy channels, your meridians, which correlates to all the organs in the body. So we're going to talk about it later, that besides the protection, it also can work on the meridians of your body and then the energy. But hopefully now you understand what is going on inside. So it's layers of metals and the electrical materials. In between them, there is also some stuff and air, and there is a holes drilled in each of the crystals, and each color has a different pattern of those holes. Another characteristics is the polarization. Well, in the world, we have different kinds of polarization. Linear polarization is when the wave goes straight, linear. Example of it is our Biomedis Trinity device. It has a linear polarization, meaning that the frequency goes straight to the body. There is a circular polarization when the frequency goes in a circle, like that. And they may go in a circle to the right, or they're going to go to the circle to the left. Okay, and now by a sky frequency, we have them turned to the right, clockwise. I will explain more about it a little later. And it's just another polarization is the elliptical polarization. There's also right and left hand when the frequency moves in elliptic. There are even some in natural. I was researching like what could be example of elliptical polarization, and apparently even in nature some bugs have that polarization. I guess they fly in a certain way or something. Okay, so we do have some researches about what is left and right circular polarization. So right is go clockwise, left is goes left or counterclockwise. So in the period of 1998 to 2005, many laboratories of the biophysical field and bioinformation universities made an experience of how medicine would react on the polarization resonance, the Charles resonance with the right and left handed polarization. And the experience shows that the right hand circular polarization activates pharmaceutical drugs, supplements, and make them more effective. And the left circular polarization suppress them. When you get the prescriptions from the pharmacy, in the paper you can actually see if it's a right circular polarization or left circular polarization, quality of that drug. And if it's a right circular polarization, it will go very good with your biological body, because our body intends to go to the right naturally. If it turns to the left, that means it's not good for the body. Example of turning to the left is 5G, 4G, and all electromagnetic smoke, they turn to the left. So the same with the pharmaceutical. If it turns to the right, it means it's more gentle to your body, more effective. And if you see on the prescription that a left circular polarization, you see an L polarization, then it's not good to the body. But if you have the BioSky and you have your prescription drug, what you can do with this, you can put your drug on the BioSky. You just put it and change the polarization of the drug and make it more effective. Another characteristics we need to talk about is chirality, which is also included in this technology. Chirality means from Greek language is asymmetry. And example of chirality, it could be our hands, feet, beaks of the birds, shells, DNA. If you take your hand, for example, and you take your right and left hand, they will be mirroring for each other. But at the same time, you cannot shake someone's right hand with your right hand. It won't grab it, right? Same thing like you will not be able to put your right foot on the left shoe. because they are mirroring each other, but at the same time, they are not exactly the same. There is a twist in that position. And you look at the DNA, the DNA has a right and left circular polarization in there, and also I like parallel chirality in the strand. It's just a very, I put this image because it's a very, very unique. So hopefully you understand what is chirality. It's a mirroring, but the mirroring you can't match, like try to like hold, give a shake, right? You know that chirality is affects the water, and as you know that our body is 70% water. In chirality does affect the water, meaning that it does affect us as well. And if you look at the water, it has three molecules, two hydrogen and one oxygen molecules, right? And when many molecules in the water happen, they to become clustered. They get together, the molecules, they clustered. That's why water containing system have a specific response mechanism to all the electromagnetic chiral fields. And if you want to see it with your own eyes, you can make this example test in your house. You can boil the water, put salt in there, and then cool it off and put a drop of the water and the laboratory like glass slide and put them away from each other like 5-6 meters so they don't interfere. Under one glass, you put one Biosky Photonic crystal and give it a time. And then you see when the water cools off, you see that the water which was treated with the Biosky has the crystals dispersed evenly in all the drop. It means it got structurized. And that's how our body, all liquid in our body has a structure. And if you look at the water which is was not treated with Biosky, you see there is a dense molecules and they kind of move go to the edge. And that's water we get from our sink, from some plastic bottles and all that. So if you put your water, wherever water you got and the crystal and you charge it, you're gonna get structuralized water, much more beneficial for you.